Hi, everyone. Let's talk email today. So, with the end of the trimester fast approaching and with some assignments that are being entered into Infinite Campus, I'm noticing an influx of emails to notify me to check assignments that might be missing. And while I think it is great that you are attempting at communicating with your teachers, I'm also noticing some common patterns that I would like to just quickly discuss so that when you go to communicate with your teachers ongoing, you have some guidelines in order to do so. So the first thing I want for you to consider is your audience. Who are you writing to? If you are using your school email, chances are that you are trying to get a hold of one of your teachers or a staff member in the building to communicate with them for a particular reason. So who you're writing to is important because that's really going to determine how you write and give you some guidelines within your writing. You would write an email very differently if you were going to be writing to your mom or to your coach or your pastor or a Boy Scout leader or something like that. So that is going to give you a good baseline for how you should approach the tone of your email, which is the second thing. So when you are emailing somebody, and I'm sure that you know this, when you're writing a text message to somebody, sometimes your tone can be interpreted in a certain way that you didn't intend. So when you're writing, you have to keep that in mind because what you're trying to communicate should be communicated in an effective way. So your intended feelings should be behind whatever it is that you are trying to communicate. And it is very easy for somebody on the other end to misunderstand what you're trying to say if you are using particular words or bolding or capitalizing certain things. So you want to make sure that you're keeping that in mind when you're composing any sort of email communication. The last thing I want for you to think about is the purpose. Why are you trying to reach out to this person via email? Is it to let them know that you are missing an assignment? Is it to question something? A mistake maybe in your grades, or is it, just some feedback that you're looking for on an assignment? So 3 things that you should consider when you're writing your email is who you're writing to, how your message is coming across, and what your intended purpose is for actually writing. So what I have for you here are 3 different types of emails, and these 3 types I literally have seen this year so far. And what I did actually was I pre-composed them to give you an idea of what they might look like. So they're actually going to be in my drafts, if I could find it. So the first one is this one. And so I'm using Mrs. Jacoby as my test rabbit here. So I'm writing an email to Mrs. Jacoby, and what I'm doing is I'm putting all of my information in the subject heading. I finished my classwork from last week. Thank you. So right here, this is called your subject heading. And what I did was I put my entire message within that subject heading. This is going to be a no-no because number 1, a subject heading is not meant for your entire message. And number 2, there are a lot of unknowns here. What classwork are you talking about? Who are you? That sort of thing. So even when your email comes in, even though it has your name, you should get in the habit of signing it. Let's go to our second example. My second example from last week is a little bit better. The subject heading is classwork, which I know as a teacher, my student is going to be emailing me about classwork. So what I am looking at right here is the greeting. Hey. Hey? Hey what? Am I your friend? Am I your teacher? So this is when we're talking about tone. So when you're emailing your teacher, probably best bet is not to just start off with saying, hey. Going forward from that, my subject is, I wanted to let you know that I finished my work from last week on equalities. Thank you, Emily McDonough. So now while the message and the purpose in here is great, we're not texting our friends again. So the to for the TO or the U for the spelling of YOU, and even the capitalizing and the abbreviating words, probably not very professional, but I do appreciate the signature. Now, if I wanted to get a little bit picky, I'd say maybe not include the emoji, but actually I kind of like it If it were me, I would kind of appreciate that at this point. But just know that not all teachers might appreciate emojis. So again, think about your audience. Who are you writing to? Would they appreciate an emoji with a smiley face and sunglasses on? Some people would, some people might not. The last email is probably one that I think would be your best bet. So you are putting in the subject heading, math homework. Hello, Mrs. Jacoby. You are greeting her. You are saying, I'm writing to let you know that I finished the, oh wait, this is kind of confusing. I'm writing to let you know that I finished the classwork, homework, assignment from 11-3 on equalities. So Mrs. Jacoby knows that you are trying to communicate with her about a missing assignment, missing homework assignment for that matter. It gives the specific date and it gives the specific content that you are doing your work on. So it will say thank you, it has my signature, and then it said what class period I'm in. I'm not sure if you necessarily need periods 3 and 4. Now in my class, you're lucky because I only see 3 groups of students, but for teachers who have a lot of students, you probably want to get in the habit of just at the bottom putting what class period you are in. Okay. So those are 3 examples. The easiest way I would say to email your teacher is go to the Google Classroom for the teacher that you are trying to communicate with. If that fails or you have no idea how to find it, what you can do is open up your email and you can actually go to Compose. And as long as you know kind of how to spell their last name, that's probably going to help you out a lot. So if I wanted to write an email to Mr. Rothermel, all right, or if I wanted to write an email to Mrs. Leibelsberger, okay? So, so there's that. So just a quick recap on thinking about email communication when you are trying to get a hold of your teachers for a particular reason. Who is your audience? Each teacher is different, so you have to just keep that in mind. What tone do you want to use? What is the intended feeling behind your message? And also, what is the purpose of your communication? Okay, hopefully this helps, and this is something that we're going to build on as the year goes on while we look at all the other different components that you can incorporate within an email